How's it going, everyone? Blueknight here. Well, before we get into the topic of today's video, I want to put this little bit of news out there. I was debating whether or not I should put this in a video, but I'll just go ahead and do it anyways. So a Brazilian retailer has pre-orders for the Crash Bandicoot N-Sane Trilogy for your Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. In the pre-order, you get 2 bonus levels, I'm assuming pre-installed, one being the Stormy Ascent DLC from last year, which was a cut level from the original Crash Bandicoot. And now seems to be a brand new bonus level called Future Tense. Now, I believe this is probably going to be focused on, or set in the future levels from Crash 3 Warped. Now, if this is the case, it's the first brand new piece of anything Crash for years, because the remakes were just, remakes of the original games. They're just old games with a new set pieces and graphics and everything else. So we're actually getting a new level in Crash 3, possibly. It's actually pretty interesting and, actually quite exciting to see what this new level brings. Especially now, since it's on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch pre-installed, it's probably going to be coming as a DLC for PS4 version, as well as PC version. Now, they release here in North America at the end of the month, so chances are it'd be in North America, just like in Brazil. Okay, now on to the main topic of today's video. Could Infinite return to the Sonic series? Well, the answer to that question kind of relies on Sega to answer, because there are several possible ways for Infinite to return, but I'll get into those here in a minute. But I want to go back to 2003, or 1999, when Sega first introduced Shadow the Hedgehog. When he seemingly died in Sonic Adventure 2, okay, well, Sega didn't want to pass up the opportunity to bring him back, so what they did was, they brought him in for Sonic Heroes. And no one at the time knew why he was there, when actually the entire events of the game led up to the events of Shadow the Hedgehog. And it wasn't until the end of that game, in the final boss battle, that Eggman explains that Shadow was rescued and he didn't die, and instead he was put in one of these stasis tanks to keep him alive. So, okay, some of you might be wondering where I'm going with this. Well, it's simple. Shadow was a dark and edgy character, considered by some, and one of the best characters and really popular. So, they couldn't pass up the opportunity to bring him back, which led to even more popularity, especially with his backstory. Now, the reason why I'm comparing Shadow to Infinite is because they're kind of similar. Infinite is a dark and edgy character, just like Shadow. But however, in terms of backstory, Shadow still wins that. But Shadow is involved with Infinite's backstory. Now, canonically speaking, as far as story goes, the story would have to meet certain requirements for Infinite to come back. But after the end of Sonic Forces, with the Phantom Ruby and its prototypes destroyed, I don't know. Unless he managed to survive that, or there's a shard that survived of the Phantom Ruby during the destruction of the Eggman's Death Egg robot. I mean, it's likely Infinite could have survived, maybe returned back to normal form before being fused to Phantom Ruby, maybe going back to the sword, or being a mercenary. I don't know. But at the end of Sonic Forces, it doesn't show what happened to Eggman or Infinite. Okay, now this is where the possible ways where Infinite can return comes in. First one is the IDW comics, which is probably the most likely, because we're only 4 or 5 issues into the Fallout series, which continues Force's story. And it explains why Blaze didn't appear in Forces. It also shows Eggman did survive his destruction of his Death Egg robot, so that opens up an opportunity for Infinite to come back. Plus, it shows an unknown character who is controlling Eggman's forces, even though Eggman ain't in control of them. The second way Infinite could return is in a never modern Sonic game. Now, the story would have to, like I said, would have to meet certain requirements for Infinite to return, and it would have to make sense. Which brought me to Team Sonic Racing, as it has a story mode, so I thought Infinite could return it. But however, it doesn't look likely for Infinite to be on Team Eggman, because instead we got Eggpon and Metal Sonic's probably going to take up the other slot. So Infinite probably will not be in that story, or even playable, unless the DLC has nothing to do with the story. Another way would be for Infinite to appear in Sonic Boom, but only as in like a season 3 with an overarching plot throughout the season, or in a series finale multi-part episode, or a movie or TV Sonic Boom movie to end the series with. I mean, it makes sense to end the series on a much darker, more action-focused story, having a different tone from the rest of the series, with Infinite, like, say, partnering with Eggman to make Eggman actually look like a real threat this time around. Maybe have Infinite double-cross Eggman or something. I discussed this over on Sonic Stadium. Of course, I had to change it a little bit because not everybody liked the idea completely. I don't know, but I think that's what they should do to end Sonic Boom. Introduce Infinite and make Eggman an actual threat this time around. And of course, there's the actual Sonic movie releasing next year. Infinite could appear in, but I don't think he'd appear in the first movie. Maybe have some hints that he would be in the third movie, like hints scattered throughout the first and then the second, or maybe even an after credits scene. But other than that, I don't think Infinite would appear in the first movie. It's one of those characters that are unique and actually kind of better received than some of the other villains. But I'm afraid Infinite might become a one-time villain that never used again. For example, Vizetti from Sonic Lost World. They don't have that much of a backstory, and they're not very well liked. Infinite, however, on the other hand, is liked a little bit more, and he is quite popular since his release, or debut. He has quite a bit of backstory compared to Vizetti. The Sega that sees an opportunity to bring back a popular character, they do it. They have Metal Sonic, they have Chaos, Zavok, and Shadow on a number of games. So, possibility of Infinite coming back, I believe that is a strong possibility on Sega's part. He's actually one of the quite more powerful villains in the Sonic series, capable of taking on Sonic, Shadow, Silver, and the rest of Resistance all at once. And actually one of the villains with the most complex backstory since Shadow. Of course, Shadow wasn't really a villain in Sonic Adventure 2, just his memories were altered, so he appeared more like a villain, and then he realizes and changes at the end of the game. Of course, you can play as him as a villain in Shadow the Hedgehog, but that's not the canon part of the game. The hero story, the pure hero story, and the final story are the canon, only parts of that game that are canon, and remain the same throughout every game afterward, including 2006 and every game, like Forces and Generations. But other than that, guys, that's the end of the video. I mean, it is really just depends on what Sega wants to do with the character, or if they see him as necessary to bring him back. So if that's it, guys, that's the end of the video. We've been Blueknight. You can, until next time, this is the end of the video. But until then, or until the next video, you can find me over on Twitter, or on Blueknight V2.0, over on Sonic Stadium, Patreon, if you want to become a patron and donate as much, or contribute as much as $1 per month to help my channel and my site become a next level source for video gaming news. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. So stay tuned, as I've got a lot more content on the way. Yep. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.